Josh Addo-Carr stands himself down ahead of this weekend's game, according to the Sydney Morning Herald. The lawyer acting for Josh Addo-Carr says his client maintains he did not take illegal drugs and has raised questions about potential irregularities during police testing. Now, Addo-Carr has volunteered to stand himself down from this weekend's finals match against Manly. Before I get Brian's thoughts on this, Gus Gould speaks to the media on Josh Addo-Carr earlier today. Here's what he had to say on the Fox incident.
Josh vehemently defends himself here and his innocence in this matter. As far as he's concerned, he's done nothing wrong, that he's taken no drugs, and he can't understand why he tested positive once at the scene of this roadside test on Friday night. Josh has made the decision to stand down from this week's game, not make himself available so the team can get on with its preparation. But I want to emphasise that Josh believes he's completely innocent. He's been quite concerned about what's happened in the last 24 hours and can't understand how he's tested positive to this initial roadside test that he had. I'm convinced that when Josh left the scene of the roadside test on Friday night, that he was convinced that would be the end of it. And that's probably the way he represented it to us. It's probably been said that Josh in some way has lied to us or misled us. I guess there are degrees of truth, and Josh in his own way felt that this matter wouldn't be raised again, and that when he left the scene on Friday night that would be the end of the matter, and that was the way he left the police at that occasion. So I don't think he's deliberately misled me or lied to me. Probably didn't give me the whole version of what had happened there on the night. Under the RLPA and CBA rules, we have no reason to stand Josh down from the game this weekend until the results of that last test is known. There is obviously a backlog in these tests. This can take anything up to 8 or 10 weeks, which will be well after the end of the season. So we're not going to know, and I guess that'll be the truth of the matter, is what comes back with that test, which is a second test that was taken at the scene on the Friday night.
Okay, first and foremost, I personally think Gus has handled that with perfection.
Mm.
Do you not think?
Yeah.
Very adamant, very confident in what he was talking about, and very honest, it sounds.
Well, there's breaking news.
Okay.
Michael Chammas. Police have said they were unable to follow usual roadside drug testing procedures when they pulled over Josh Addo-Carr because officers received an urgent call to an attempted home invasion. So what had happened was he did one test, came up positive. Usually you got to do a second one, but they got an urgent call, so they took off and they said to Josh, right, you can get in your car and drive. So what had happened here was they asked the police why Addo-Carr was allowed to drive away after allegedly returning a positive test. A New South Wales police spokesperson confirmed the usual process of 2 drug wipes down the Craig Young and an oral fluid sample was not followed due to an urgent call-out.
Wow.
So I would be thinking this is a legal matter. You've got to do it too. So I think he's sweet.
I think Gary too. I think, honestly...
Well, the police haven't followed the usual procedures, so that must mean they've got to throw out that...
I would think so. I would think so. I think, I'm with you, and I don't know the game. This game we're talking about, the legal game when it comes to this stuff. But I would think on the surface, Brian... I think he's going to be fine. I think he'll be totally fine. Anyway, we'll see how that plays out. But as Gus did mention in that little clip, they take 8 to 10 weeks. So even that first one coming back, I kind of read between the lines that he has been stood down this week. If they advance through to week 2, I'll bet me bottom dollar that one Josh Addo-Carr would be named in that team. That's my best guess, based on what I've just heard right now.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Yeah, I think so too. So he wasn't fibbing. Like people were saying that, there's no way you can drive away, but the police have confirmed that. They said, well, it was an unusual sort of incident because those 2 officers received an urgent call out, so they bolted.
Okay, so okay.
I'd say null and void.
Okay, I agree. I think that's what will happen. But if he is truly innocent, then he's unlucky that this has happened because he doesn't have the chance to prove himself ultimately to the court of the pub test or the court of public opinion that he is, in fact, innocent. If he's truly guilty, which we'll probably never know for both, then he's either unlucky the call didn't come before the test happened, or he's very lucky the call came just after the test happened.
You see these false positives all the time. Remember Grubby Reynolds? He was coming back for a game, exactly the same thing.
Yep.
First test, positive. I was talking to him about it. He went to the police station, and he said they gave him a hard time because they said, mate, you're in trouble here. And he was adamant. He said, mate, this is ridiculous. Second test, negative.
Well, there you go. Which actually came back negative.
Came back negative.
There you go.
The second swipe
Yes.
at the police station.
Yes.
So I think,
Based on what you're saying, Brian, it probably, and we're no legal eagles, it can't go anywhere.
Not if they didn't follow the correct procedure.
Yeah, exactly right.
So do you think the Fox has just stood himself down because he didn't want the noise around the club?
Yes.
Like people saying-
yes, exactly. Well, even the club might have said, look, let's get the fire out of this thing.
If I'm Cameron Ciraldo, I want him playing this week.
Yeah, but is he going to be in the right headspace to play? Maybe some people go the other way and they explode if under these situations. Well, Tyreek Hill, he got arrested and then come out, had a blinder. I don't know. I think the club has handled it well. I think Gus is...
Well, if you're a Bulldog supporter, text us through. Text, do you want, if it's all sweet, he stood himself down, would you like him to reinstate himself if you're a Bulldog supporter?
Well, and by the way, the teams haven't been named yet. There's 19 minutes until teams are named on Team List Tuesday. So have you say 1300 01 1170 or text 0457 736 Anyway, let's move on. Reagan Campbell Gillard. Ooh, okay. Reagan Campbell Gillard to the Broncos. That's the question mark. The Parramatta Eels have released a statement granting RCG a release from the final year of his contract. Not forgetting that Parramatta Eels were paying Penrith to get him early from his contract at Penrith. Parramatta Eels General Manager of Football, Mark O'Neill, said Reagan is a quality player and has consistently demonstrated his impact on the field, reaching the impressive milestone of 200 NRL games earlier this year. Peter Bedell and Brent Reid from the Daily Telegraph reporting that he's now linked with the Broncos after a deal with the Dragons fell through on Monday night. Thoughts?
Yeah, I like it. I know the Cowboys were interested in him. I know the Dragons are interested in him. And he didn't want to go to North Queensland. Just thought it was a little bit too far.
Yep.
Guess what's halfway?
Yeah.
Guess who's going to win the lottery?
RCG.
RCG. I can see him going to the Broncos. Broncos would be desperate.
What's the number? We had the Rich 100 yesterday. If you missed that, you can catch up with the podcast. Crash Craddock. What's the number for Reagan Campbell Gillard?
Well, he's on 850 now.
Yep. And obviously, Parra will pay some of that, right?
Parra will play, maybe they might pay 200.
So then you just keep the 850 status?
I think so. And I think the Broncos would be very willing to pay 600.
Yes.
I know.
Yes. So from their point of view, yeah, he might be 850, but we're paying 600.
Yeah.
That's a buy.
That is a buy.
Yeah.
He's had a good year this year.
But he's
had a great year.
But that's also a tip of the hat. Well, not a tip of the hat. That's also Jason Riles saying, not for me. Jason Riles, who's also a former front rower.
Yeah. I think
there's something he doesn't like about Reagan Campbell Gillard, or maybe the only thing he doesn't like is the price tag.
Maybe. Maybe they're thinking, well, I'll get rid of the 200. But have they made any signings, any of note, like to replace Reagan Campbell Gillard? Because he's
a young at fullback, yes.
Yeah, I know he's fullback. I'm talking front row.
Yeah, they lose Blaze Talangi. I don't know if they have they?
They're a bit light on. I know they've got Junior Barlow.
Yeah, but Junior Barlow's also getting to that point where, where's he at?
The gynecologist, yeah, Charlie Guymer.
Charlie Guymer, yeah.
He re-signed. But they need another big body up front.
They've lost.
They tried the Sean Lane experiment, didn't work.
Hopgood was but they were patched up. There was no Hopgood. There was no.
But the Sean Lane going to front row.
Yeah,
I don't think that's his position.
No, that's
I really
hard.
don't.
Jack Bird has signed with the West Tigers. WestTigers.com.au reporting that West Tigers are delighted to announce the signing of St George Illawarra Dragons utility Jack Bird on a 2-year deal. Jack is a very talented player, a very good person, and we're thrilled that he's decided to join us. Says West Tigers coach Benji Marshall. Thoughts, Brian?
I wasn't listening again. Sorry, I was looking at the.
No, I said Jack Bird signed with the Warriors.
Oh,
you like that?
No, Tigers.
Tigers. Yeah.
Well, you're the Tigers man, and I'm just going to quote you. This is fixer-upper.
Yeah. I really like Jack Bird as a person, as a player, but it's not where I would have gone at this juncture as the West Tiger.
Where are you going to play
him? He can't play in the backs. He got exposed a lot this year with Shane Flanagan, speed-wise. He cannot be a back. So unless you've got a role for him in the forwards, it's not... Benji's all in. And you know what I like about Benji? He said, I'm not here for job security. I'm here to try and make the club better. So he doesn't give a rat's if he's...
Is Joe Chan signed for Melbourne? Oh, gosh. He's a good player.
He's a good player.
He's too smart. 4 years.
Joe Chan.
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
He was just saying,
Brooks.
Brooksy was just saying the bun man, bun in the oven.
Yeah.
They're 4. Remember, I asked him, I said, how far ahead do you look? And he said 4 years.
Oh, yeah.
So they're thinking the Chanmeister.
Yep.
He's a great player.
Yep. But the Dragons, don't forget, the Dragons sold Jaden Sullivan for a Prince Penny to the West Tigers.
700.
Now they've gone to Jack Bird. Reports were around the 400 mark. I don't know about
Well, that's
that.
Bateman's. He's getting Bateman's money. Bateman's not coming back.
Yeah, but how'd the Bateman money go?
He's at 800
Yeah.
for next year.
How'd the Bateman... That's my point. How did the Bateman money go?
Yeah, I know, but yes, but they're going to be using some of that because he's got another year to go.
Yeah,
but he won't come back.
it's all well and good to use some of that. It doesn't mean it's free money. You've still
No,
got to
it's
make it
not-
right.
Yeah, okay.
You've still got to make it right. You got players like Fadil Polle and that who arguably probably, if Jack Bird's signing for 400, I reckon Fadil Polle would be lucky to be on 400. So then you've got to say to yourself, okay, what's the better?
Yeah.
Okay, what we're doing with Fadil Polle, that's what we need to keep doing.
What about? Well, they got no Stefano. Can you see Reagan Campbell Gillard in the Tigers outfit?
No, he's just signed with the Broncos, isn't
It's
he?
not signed. It's rumour mill.
Oh, rumour mill. There's a question mark.
Nothing,
yeah.
nothing, I think you'll go the Dragons, but
But
wait and
but
see.
an extra 100, 200, whatever may appear sort of immaterial.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's late in the year and you're trying to toggle here and there, it's that 100 and 200 which makes
Which
all
adds
the
up.
difference between whether you can get this player
Yep.
or you can't. It's so
You've got to
important.
be good.
Anyway,
Got to be good at that.
1300 01 1170. The NRL News Update. You can save 50% on Bodie's powders at Chemist Warehouse. It is a tradie hour for Caroma Plumbers Hub, your partner in plumbing excellence.